Hi everyone, it's Kathryn. You're in for a treat today because I had to get ready for work and do my makeup and hair and put on this work attire. And I figured since I have to spend a little time on myself, I may as well make a video, another get ready with me, plus a chit chat. And today's topic, we're going to dive deep and talk about anxiety. I'm going to talk about my experience with it and what I have learned has helped me manage it and live the most stress-free, happy life that I can possibly live. So I'm keeping this intro short because I need to go to work, because I should be there right now. So everything that I use on my face and I'm wearing will be in the description below, as well as my social media links. If you'd like to follow me there, you're more than welcome to. So with that, let's get into the video. Let's do it. Let's get started on this face. Okay, so as I stated in the title of this video, it is clear to all of you that we're going to talk about anxiety. I should be a poster child for anxiety because I dealt with I don't want to say, I mean, it was pretty bad. It was pretty extreme when I was a kid. It all started for me when I was, I don't know, like as young as I could remember. I was a happy kid, but I got pretty anxious about things. A little visitor on my chin. This is always like the worst spot too, because it hurts a little bit because it's on the bone. But yes, so I dealt with anxiety when I was pretty young, from like kindergarten through second grade, going to school. Like I hated leaving the home. I liked it for other things, but I just hated like going to school for some reason and being away from my family. So I don't know if it's kind of like some separation anxiety or a little bit of social anxiety or what, but I would always get stomach aches on the way to school. That's as far back as I can remember, like my anxiety starting and me just being like, I don't know, something feels wrong, but I don't know what, but I just can't help it. Like I just can't help but think so negatively about the situation I'm in. So I had to start going to therapy at a pretty young age, which I was very blessed for, since my mom was especially adamant about it. She's like, yeah, I can tell that you need someone to talk this out with and get to the bottom of what's going on in that crazy little head of mine. Thank God for therapy. That was really the saving grace that has brought me a long way. But yeah, I mean, I got pretty anxious just about anything. Like it was like, I had a big imagination, which is a good thing, and it can be a little troublesome because it was almost like I could make up any scenario in my head when I was young. Think like, oh my God, like my parents are gonna die or they're gonna get divorced, or I don't know. I just had like weird anxiety just about a misfortune plaguing me when I was a kid. And then I kind of got over that, of course. I think as my brain started to develop, I thought more logically. And then anxiety would start to take form in middle school and high school, more social anxiety, which I was pretty shy and quiet growing up, but I always had friends, and like once I got comfortable around people, I was like unstoppable. I remember middle school and high school was kind of like where this major social anxiety kind of came up out of nowhere, where it's just almost like I did not know how to be myself around like people I really didn't know, or I always felt like people were judging me. And ooh, there goes my concealer. My sophomore year of high school was the hardest for my anxiety. It even festered into some depression, but I just felt like so alone. Like I didn't really feel like I had any close friends, and I wasn't enjoying school where I was going, and I just felt so trapped in my mind and so alienated from everyone else. I don't know, I just thought I was like a freak, that this is how my mind works and I can't help it. I'm always so like nervous and so inside my head. I did end up switching high schools and going to a high school that really was the right fit for me, and where I actually felt like I made good friends and came into my own. So that situation, the circumstantial, helped. But then even as I graduated high school and high school into college, or you know, into young adulthood, is pretty stressful. It's a lot of changes. So of course, whenever I'm going through stress, anxiety is like the #1 emotion that comes up. So yeah, even in college I battled with anxiety. Granted, it wasn't like stomach aches when I was little, but I mean, I would have panic attacks, and I would say I was like a high functioning anxious person. Like I could go out in public and be around people, but the whole time I'm thinking like, man, like what do these people think of me? I don't think they really like me. I think they're just being nice, and I don't know, just a lot of, again, like social anxiety. I think looking back through the years, it really developed when I was kind of in growing stages, like trying to figure myself out. So I think that may have been a big factor into what was going on. My sophomore year of college, I was going through some hardships, but then like after the summer and then starting in my junior year, things really turned around and I feel like I flew. I met Rodney, my boyfriend, my first boyfriend, my other half. That's not to say I was like relying on him as like my savior. No, I just, you know, sometimes people teach you about yourself, and when you get close to someone, it does help bring out the best of your abilities. And plus then, that's also when I really started getting into modeling, so that helped. I don't even know why I bother doing any makeup down here, because this is where my mask is, and I wear masks for my job, so there's really no need. Thank God the little visitor's down here, so no one really gets to see it. He's not a very nice visitor. He's not one that is very welcomed into this community. So as I was saying, I was starting to really batten down the hatches and model. So that gave me some confidence, some sense of identity. I also started my current job, the promotional modeling side, which means I have to get out in front of the public and talk to people, strangers, all day, every day. And so that I really owe to making me who I am and making me like comfortable in myself and comfortable being around people I don't know. Because now I've learned no one really cares. Everyone's like in their own little world, in their own head. They're really just focused on what they're doing. So if you do something embarrassing or weird, people might notice for a second, but they're just gonna go back into their own zone. So there's really nothing to worry about. It's all in our heads. It really is. I think they say what, like 90% of our fears, maybe 95. I don't know what the figure is. I'm not I'm not Google here, but yeah, that, you know, almost always the things that we worry about don't come true. It's never the worst case scenario like we tend to tell ourselves it's going to be. Sometimes we think too much. Sometimes we're just too much in our heads, and we just gotta do it. Don't let fear and anxiety hold you back, because that could end up being the worst regret in life. That's just the very, very broad overview of what I went through with anxiety. It goes a lot deeper, which maybe one day I'll get into that more. It's all about also me learning how to talk about it and learning to be vulnerable in it. Might help me get comfortable talking about it in greater depth. But anyway, I know how anxiety is like the modern day plague. I think it's like the #1. See, there I go again, just rattling off statistics I don't actually know. I believe it's like one of the #1 like mental health conditions out there, at least in our modern day Western culture, society, maybe all around the world. I don't know. It's an epidemic, and it's awful. It's something I don't wish on anyone, but you know, I mean, it is part of our lives because it's an emotional experience that aids in survival. I mean, anyone that's had anxiety has probably been told that evolutionary tactic. It taught our fellow cavemen and cavewomen ancestors that there's danger afoot. I mean, you see that saber-toothed tiger coming up on you, you're gonna get that pang in your stomach like, hey, we gotta go, we gotta bounce. This isn't good. But now that we're not always in as much danger, sometimes it overrides us and we listen to it more than we actually need to. So it's all about deciphering what's real danger versus what is just the panic button being hit too soon. It's not a bad thing, so you can't look down on it like, oh god, I have anxiety, I'm the worst, I'm broken. You can't think like that. It's like AA or something, but yeah, acknowledge what's going on. Acknowledge that you have it. Maybe do a little deep diving, thinking like, okay, what caused this? What's like the source? You know, I mean, it's a lot of times it's genetic, but also it can be like circumstantial, something that's built over time. So think of all that. Kind of walk yourself back, go through your life story, and start to reassure yourself, like, okay, things are okay. Like, this is who I am. It's something I'm working on. It's something that I'm going to improve. With anxiety, you get into black and white thinking like, oh, this is it. Like, I'm never gonna change. I'm stuck like this. But I promise you, if I'm here to tell the tale and really have minimal anxiety now, I mean, yeah, I get it here and there, but it's very mild. So if I can go from like the shy kid that always hid behind her mom's legs to now I can go out and be like a public figure and feel like I'm like conquering my days, then you can too. Let's talk about things, some tips that I feel help manage anxiety and get you step by step closer to feeling at peace and worry-free. Again, step 1, I think, is just understanding anxiety better, doing some research, talking to a doctor or therapist. I think once you can recognize the issue, then you can start to tackle it from the inside out. I don't know the proper definition, but we know that anxiety is a trepidation caused by constant fear and negative thinking. It's almost like a feedback loop in your head. Your own conscience telling you, like, oh, you can't do this, you're a failure, or this is gonna go wrong because XYZ. It's like you versus yourself. It's just, the geese are just going wild out there. My God, they're talking. I don't know if you can hear it in the camera. Like, facing your anxiety instead of running from it is The starting building block to becoming more resilient against it. Number 2, you can look up ways to start to reframe your thinking and rewiring your brain and trying to think more positively and becoming more confident. And there's like 1,000,001 YouTube videos and Google articles about it, but start looking at that and seeing how you can change the dialogue that's in your head to something that praises yourself instead of tears yourself down. We see anxiety as like it's almost like this spooky thing. Anxiety can make you almost gives you sometimes like a vivid picture in your mind before you can even help it. You're like imagining things going wrong or the worst case scenario. Since your mind can think up things like that, who's to say that it can't also think of the best case scenario, the best things that can happen, all the possibilities. You know, start to be hopeful. Start to use your anxiety and that active brain of yours for the good. Use it as a tool for hope or something that brings positive energy to your mind.
Oh, hi, it's future Kathryn. I forgot to mention a few things. I feel like I just kind of skated over it. I'm just thinking back on my video. I always reflect after what I film and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should say this or add this in or take this out. Anyway, so with thinking more positively instead of thinking so negatively, turning it into a positive, it also helps to recite positive affirmations, which you can Google that for more information, but it's basically telling yourself over and over reassuring things about yourself, like saying, I am beautiful, I am confident, I am capable, I am wise, I am strong, I am able to do XYZ, like I'm going to be successful, I blah blah blah. So in my experience, positive affirmations have been some of the most useful weapons to use against anxiety and create a healthier, happier mind. So like I was saying, you can Google how to instill those into your mind and, you know, create different ones that fit your needs and what you're trying to accomplish. So practicing positive affirmations is just that. It's a practice that eventually becomes second nature. Your mind starts to get used to it. You're building those brain pathways that feed that thought, that consistent thought. Anyway, enough of car Kathryn talking. Back to the video.
Thing 2, something that causes anxiety can be having like specific expectations, especially if you are a perfectionist like myself. When you put so much pressure and expectations on yourself, you can almost self-sabotage and sometimes set yourself up for failure. Like if you want something so specific, like it's okay to, you know, to dream big and have big ambitions. Also, I would say, you know, don't put yourself on like such a time crunch, or, you know, that you think so specific, like it has to go like X, Y, Z, like having so much structure. It's okay to let go a little bit of the control and just leave it up to fate or destiny or whoever's in charge. You know, have your goals, have like an idea in your head of like this is what I want to achieve. Like say, I don't know, whether it's big, like you want to be making a certain amount of money, or whether it's, I don't know, even like a small thing, like take like a social anxiety, for example. Maybe you have a goal that like today you're gonna have a conversation with the person at the cash register. Don't tell yourself like, okay, like it's gotta go like this, I gotta make them laugh, they gotta just have, you know, I just gotta blow their minds. Instead, be like, all right, you know, just take it as it comes. Have like a few talking points, a few maybe questions I want to ask, like, oh, how's your day going? Easy. Or like, you guys been busy, or I've seen you around here, how long have you worked here? That sort of thing. But yeah, just let the conversation unfold how it needs to. You ain't God, honey. You don't gotta have everything go to your plan. Assess at the end, see what went well, maybe what you like to change, and just look forward to the next time. You know, if things don't go perfectly and according to plan, doesn't mean you're a failure. You know, I'm sure something worked, something had to go, something have had to gone right. So give yourself credit for what you did accomplish, and then have something that's your next goal to reach for the next time. Because life is just a growing process. Life is all about growth and the process, not the outcome. Become one with the world around you, because anxiety also works as a response to what your body's feeling. So emotions a lot of times work from the physical into the mental, meaning that your body will tense up and then your brain all of a sudden goes, oh my God, like I sense danger, like what's going on? I'm panicking, like let me at it, or let me run, I don't know. Fight or flight. That's where I believe practicing, I know it's so cliche, but practicing yoga or meditation, even just noticing your breath is essential. Because, okay, when you release your jaw, the tension in your head, relax your shoulders, and you know, straighten up your spine, really focus on like your physicality and moving it into a calm body state will tell your mind like everything's okay, I'm fine. So if your body feels good, then your mind is gonna follow suit. And I think last but not least, talk to your doctor. I mean, I'm not totally against like antidepressants or prescriptions. I think it's like a last resort, but you know, I think there are some people that just need to be on it to rebalance their brain chemistry. I mean, I would never rule that out as an option too, but also keep practicing those other things as just good measure, because you don't want to rely just on the medication, because that's just more of a crutch to kind of boost you. It's not going to totally get you out of the lurch of anxiety. And I think it's best for anxiety too to just tune into you, see what, you know, what are the things that bring you joy and relief, certain activities, whether it's like art or exercising. I think exercising is a huge one. That is something I have to do every day. It helps keep me centered. Art is too. I love art. Maybe you're a reader, or writing, journaling is excellent in getting those thoughts out and onto paper, and you kind of see like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. And sometimes it's also like a problem-solving method too. Or I don't know, maybe it's doing makeup or making videos, or I don't know, fashion, photography, video games. I don't know. Everyone has their outlet that brings them happiness. So I know you can't like eternally escape anxiety, but any outlet that you find that brings you a light, flowing, bouncy energy is something you should try to embody. It's almost like being a kid again. That's my little chat about anxiety and what you can do to treat it and combat it. Of course, I'm by no means an expert, but I think sometimes any advice helps from someone who knows it firsthand. So yeah, I hope that helps you, and I hope you enjoyed our little chit chat. I need to go fix my hair because it's a mess. We're back in the bad lighting, but it's fine. I curled my hair yesterday with a curling wand, a 1-inch one, and so these are day 2 of the curls. And sometimes I like them even better when they've been, you know, worn in a little bit. So So yeah, maybe one day I'll do a tutorial on that. Bam. Don't mind my boyfriend's jeans just floating around. Yes, I love sweater dresses. It's my favorite thing to wear in the winter. So I got this little black one on from Express that I've had an embarrassing long time since as a freshman in high school, but hey, it still works. It's got this little necklace. It's all tangled. Yeah, I'll have to fix it a bit, but it's got like this built-in necklace detail that I think is really cute, and it's super flattering, and I love it with some knee-high gray stiletto boots. And yeah, and that's Clifford on my bed. Yep. Apparently I keep a lot of things from my childhood. Okay, I really need to go. I'm running late. Okay, we're doing the outro on the go because that's how I roll. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. That's really all I got to say. All right.